Welcome back to Daytime. There are a lot of programs out there that talk to teens about drug misuse. But what about our seniors and their drugs and making sure that they're taking them properly? Well, there's a new program that's called Medication Management. Let's talk about prescriptions, and we're going to talk about it right now with Jeremy Grant, who joins us from Home Instead Senior Care.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you here. Well, an important topic to talk about, especially when we're talking about our seniors and making sure that they're okay.
Yeah, I think it's pretty, it's an understated. I think it's 57% of seniors are taking at least 4 medications every day. So, they talk about the problems with the youth nowadays and the misuse of medications where it's a conscious, ill-advised decision. A lot of the time with the seniors, there's mitigating factors with dementia, Alzheimer's, things like that, where it's not anything they're doing on purpose, but taking that many medication when there's some cognitive issues, it can run into some challenges.
I think we've all been there at one point where you've been on some medication and thought, oh, I can't remember, did I take that this morning or not? When you're at a senior level, and then suddenly you might be dealing with a couple of different medications, plus just aging, that becomes more complex.
Yeah, they have a lot going on. I mean, I take 1 medication a day, and in a normal Monday to Friday when you get up and you're in your routine, it's natural to take it, but it'll be, a Sunday where maybe I wake up a little bit later, don't have my normal routine, and it'll be 2 out of 3 Sundays where I'm sitting there looking back going, I don't remember if I took that this morning or not. And for mine, it's not life or death if I take it, but when it's 5, 6 medications monitoring, diabetes or different issues, it can be very, very important that they do take those meds.
And then you think of the complications that happen if you happen to think, okay, well, I didn't take them, and suddenly you're doubling up on medications or tripling medications, that it suddenly can be big problems.
Yeah, I've had clients that are taking 15, 16 medications in a day, and, I've been by there visiting maybe when one of my caregivers haven't been there to remind them, and I say, I noticed you didn't take your medications last night, and they're like, yeah, that's okay. When it happens, I just take them the next day. They don't take the time to ask those questions. Some of those meds, it's not the best way to handle that situation if you do miss them. And if they're ill-informed or they don't remember, they just err on making sure those are all gone.
Yeah, and you see this because at Home Instead Senior Care, part of the work that you do is working to keep seniors in their homes longer. It's a goal for all of us. A lot of seniors really want to be in their home, but may not be able to do all of the day-to-day things by themselves.
Yeah, the big 3 I always notice are being able to keep up just with the house, housekeeping, things like that, making sure they're eating meals on a regular basis, and the medications. So having a caregiver from Home Instead there to kind of manage those for family when family's not be around can really keep people in their homes and, more importantly, keep them safe for longer.
Yeah, there's a website now that's called Let's Talk About Prescriptions, so that we can all become a little more knowledgeable on keeping our seniors safe and making sure that they're taking their prescriptions safely.
Yeah, it's got some great information on there. I think for a lot of people, it's just making sure that they're informed, and whether it's a caregiver from Home Instead or a family member, loved one, neighbor. You'll have a senior that's been on medication for years. Maybe they have a trip to the emergency room, come home with a different medication. They're in after surgery and sent home with a different medication there. Now suddenly have 3 medications from 3 different sources. So one of the tips on there is, have one pharmacist kind of spearheading your medication for you, so they know all the different meds, how they're interacting with each other. Those blister packs are fantastic now. Rather than having to get those 8 or 9 different pill bottles, they come in with the blister packs. It's sent out weekly. It shows you what you're taking in the AM, the PM, midday, whether you take it with meals, without meals, morning, late, afternoon, nighttime, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, and one of the things that can be really difficult for families to kind of navigate is oftentimes this is your parent. This is the person who made sure you were okay and took care of you, and now the roles are reversed, and it can be a tricky conversation to have with a mother or a father and say, I'm not sure you're taking medication. I'm not sure you're doing this well, because in a way it's almost like you're saying to them, something's wrong, you're not doing this right.
Yeah, you see the role reversal where it's, parenting the parent. The resentment creeps in there. Another great education campaign we had a little while ago was the 40-70, so how to talk to an aging parent and have those crucial conversations. And the earlier you can start that dialogue around really insignificant kind of day-to-day things, the easier it's going to be to have those talks later when it's those more important conversations, like, I don't know if you're managing well enough at home by yourself, and making them understand it's coming from a place of caring, not from trying to limit them or take away their independence, but really trying to help them maintain that at home.
I'm betting that the work that you do at Home Instead Senior Care, sometimes for a senior, you're stepping in to help them with things, and maybe at first they look at that as well, they want to be independent. And then suddenly when you're showing up at the door, now you're becoming a friend. You're becoming that friendly face, that visitor that they look forward to having come in.
Yeah, it's really nice to see. We're hired oftentimes by one of the son or daughters, generally the daughter, and kind of being forced upon the parents. And at first they're very hesitant to it, I would say. At Homestead, our most important thing is trying to find that right caregiver match. So it's nice to come back a couple weeks later and they have their own little inside jokes and they really get each other and understand how they like things, and they get really excited to have that person come in to see them, and it really becomes kind of surrogate family almost in some cases, which is awesome.
Well, we live in a day and age where family is often spread out. You know, jobs take you elsewhere, people take you elsewhere, but there is that caring component that can come in. And when it comes to medications and helping out, I mean, that's just one of the many ways that you can help out.
Yeah, and it's peace of mind for a lot of people. I mean, that's really one of the really important ones, where when you're working and you have your own family and your own stress, and the last thing you need to be doing on a daily basis is wondering, did mom take her meds today? So knowing that caregiver from Homestead or whoever it may be is there, and knowing that they're safe for that afternoon, and not having to worry when you pop by there after work, you can just kind of sit, have tea and chat, and you're not worried about, did you take your meds? Have you had lunch? Is the house clean? That kind of thing.
Absolutely. And if you want to find out more, the Let's Talk About Prescriptions website, you can go right on it, take a look through all kinds of great advice on there.
Yeah, there's lots of great stuff on there. So we always encourage people. I mean, the more you know, the better off you're going to be. So take a couple minutes, take a look, and make sure that, your loved ones are safe.
And if people want to find out more about the work that you do at Homestead Senior Care, they can go on the website there too.
Yep.
Find out how to get in
Give
touch.
us a call.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, Jerry.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We've got more Daytime still to come. Stay with us.